Hey everyone, this is Ken, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on a working ATM system. Now, what's great about this design is the fact that it's fully compact and you can literally expand this to infinite size. Now, before we even get into that, let me just show you how this works and I'll explain a little bit how it goes. Now, right in front of us, we have paper, but they're all labeled keys 1 all the way down to key 7. Okay? Now, each one will activate a different chest. Okay, so let's go with the first one. All you have to do is walk up. You're going to place your item right inside this dropper. And that's going to be key 1. You're going to press that button. The light will go off. And your chest will appear right in front of you. Now, inside this chest, we have tons of diamonds. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Now, the cool thing is the fact that your key card actually goes back into the chest in front of you to let you know you just used it. Now, always make sure to take it back unless you want other people to use it. Now, the second you hit that button, that light's going to turn off. Now, we're going to use key 2 and we'll see what we get. And all you have to do is hit that button. The light will go on. And once you check the chest, look at that. It went from diamonds to emeralds. That is awesome. That is exactly what we want. We want each person that uses ATM to have their own personal chest to fit their own valuables inside of it. This is great, especially if you have multi-servers and you got like a bunch of friends with you and you want a secure location that everyone could use. This is perfect. Now that light on top indicates 2 things. It indicates that you got your chest, but it also locks down the entire system so that nobody else can interfere with it as you're using your chest. And the reason I have that is because it adds an additional security feature just so that you don't have any loopholes or anybody messing with your stuff. Look at that, that's awesome. And once you hit that button, the chest goes right back to a secure location. Now, let me show you the wiring behind it. I'm going to show you all the redstone behind it. It's really not that complicated, and it's actually a very repetitive pattern. Now, for each chest, you're going to notice the same exact pattern that you're going to have to add on. See? And it's quite simple. It's really not that complex. And the great thing about the design, you can actually extend it without interfering with the design itself. So if you want to add more, you can just place it right in the back and just add as many more chests and sections as you want. Now, for this tutorial, we're going to be doing a total of 7 different chests. So let's get down to the materials. They're pretty basic. We're going to use a block of your choice, some half slabs, some stairs, hoppers, regular pistons, droppers. You also will be needing some redstone dust, redstone torch, a repeater, comparators, button, a few chests. You will be needing some rails, power rails, and rail detectors, minecart chest, a lever, and you will be needing an anvil so you can label the items you want as the key card. Now, before we start, make sure you have these dimensions. They're very important for the build, so pause at this point, have this set up before you even start building. Fantastic though. Once you've done that, when you go straight to the back, go count about 3 blocks, and on the third one, place a block there, and you're going to place a gap in between. And it should be a total of 6 blocks with spaces in between. Now place some redstone dust right across, just like so. Sorry about that. Then you're going to leave a gap right there and place a dropper going forward. See? Parallel to the redstone. Now in front of the redstone, place another dropper going upwards. Then you're going to place a dropper again on top of it, going, I guess in this case, the opposite direction. Just like so. And right in front of it, place a hopper going downwards. Make sure it's in that pattern. Now, place a comparator going forward. And the block right in front of it. Place some redstone dust right there. and a block right in front of that as well. Then you're going to place a torch going forward right in front of that block. Then you're going to place a block on top of each torch. And a torch right in front. Perfect. Then, of course, you're going to place another block right on top, and that's about it. As far as that. Now, you should have this kind of pattern at this point. Perfect. Now, guys, you're going to place a block there on the second one. Place a half slab on both sides. You can also delete the middle one and just make that a complete half slab if you want to. Now make sure you're going to go downwards and place a half slab right in front of each torch. Just like so. Perfect. And of course you're going to extend that forward, or backwards in this case, 2 more times. Place a block right on top of that, delete that, and of course you're going to have a half slab there. And you're going to extend that all the way to the second last one. Delete that, and delete the ones in between. Perfect. Now place a solid block on top of that redstone dust. Place a half slab there and there. Delete that, and delete the first one. Perfect. Then you're going to extend that and you're going to connect the rest. See? So 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on and so forth. Then you're going to extend that on the side right there and you're going to connect the rest to it. So connect each one going towards that direction. And one more right there. Perfect. Now place another one parallel to it. Just like so. And in this case, you're going to place a lever right on top of it and you're going to activate it. Perfect. Now, once you've done that, I want you to get your redstone. Well, we're going to get some more half slabs. And we're going to extend it one more time going backwards. Perfect. Then you're going to place a block on the top part, just like so. And right underneath each block, you're going to place a lever and you're going to activate it. Now you could do this to each one, but the first one you do not do it to, okay? Leave that blank. Because it doesn't need it, to be honest. Now I'll explain why. Now at this point, we're going to start adding the rails. Now make sure you get your rail detector. You're going to place it on top of each solid block, okay? Then right behind it, you're going to place 2 pieces of power rail because you want to create that curve. Now the cool thing is the first one, you just make that a straight power rail. You can delete that, make a straight power rail to activate. And on each other one, make sure you also add a power rail as well. Perfect. Now place one right there and you're going to place another regular rail. And what you want to do is create this curve going straight to the front entrance. So each one has a curve going towards the entrance. Okay, that has to be very important, guys. Make sure that all the rails are curving towards that front entrance. Now, because rails tend to act very funny, depending on north, south, east, or west, I found a very simple way to actually set this up correctly. Now, all you have to do is place some redstone dust there, and if you break it, and the rails do not move, you could place a straight line of redstone dust. Now, when I mean move, for example, if you add a torch here, you're going to notice that the rails are going to go the opposite direction. Now, normally, if you add a piece of redstone dust there, and it created that once you broke it, you could just add that redstone torch right there and delete the half slab underneath. But because in this case we don't have to do that, you can add a straight line of redstone dust, which is fine. But those are just two different options because depending on the direction, you might come across this problem. So always place a redstone dust on top of that first slab, break it, and if the rail doesn't move, then you're perfectly fine. If it does move, make sure you add a torch on the back part so that it could correct it. Then on the top here, you're going to delete those power rails and you're going to add a solid block right on top of it. Then you're going to add 2 more blocks going forward from that point and 1 more in front of it. And you're going to do that to each one. Perfect. Then right in front of that first block, you're going to place a regular piston going downwards. And the block in the back, you're going to delete that. You don't need it. Then you're going to place a half slab right there. And you're going to place it right across all the way to the last block. Perfect. Then you're going to place 2 blocks right there. And you're going to pretty much create the same exact pattern to each piston. It's very important, guys. Then in front of that block, you're going to place a torch. Place a block on top of it, 1 underneath it, and delete the first one. Then on top of each redstone dust, place 1 block to create the same exact pattern. Then place a half slab there and 1 underneath, delete the first one. You're going to place a half slab from that point and extend it all the way to the back and delete the ones in between. Then you're going to place a repeater going towards the opposite direction. See? And you want to make sure you place a block in front of each repeater. Now what we're creating here is the sorting system, which is going to be the system that's going to identify your key card to activate your chest. Then you're going to extend that 1 more time with blocks on top of it and blocks right behind it, which is pretty much right on top of the repeater. Then on that first block on top, place a comparator going towards the pistons and a straight line of redstone dust right across, you see? Perfect. I should have this kind of format at this point. Now place 2 blocks in front of each one and delete the one in the middle. Perfect. And on the bottom part of that block, right there on the bottom part, make sure you add 1 torch in front of it. See, that is very important. Otherwise, the system won't work. So make sure you do that. And you're going to place a hopper going towards each one of those blocks. And you're also going to extend the block here. Keep in mind, these are just temporary blocks. And I'll show you why. You're going to extend that to the front. You're going to delete those 2 as well. Perfect. And make sure you place a hopper towards each comparator. Perfect, guys. It's actually coming out pretty nice. So you should have this kind of format. See? Amazing. All right. Now, right here in the front part, you're going to place 1 hopper going towards that direction and a hopper right behind each one. And they're all pretty much facing and going towards the front end until you get to the last hopper in the back. Then you're going to place a chest right on top of it, a hopper on top of that. Then you're going to place 1 hopper facing this one. And you're going to extend a bunch of hoppers towards that one in the back. See? Now, by the way, I didn't mention this, but this also has a filter system. So if someone else tries to put the wrong item, it'll filter the item right out so it doesn't interfere with anything else. Now you're going to place some blocks right in front of that on the second one. Well, the first one on top. And you're going to delete the ones on the side. Now right here in that first block, okay, you're going to put 3 more blocks right underneath. 1, 2, 3. Now those are temporary blocks, so not to worry. Place 1 block on the side. Take 2 half slabs from that point and place 1 more exactly like that pattern. You're then going to delete the rest of those blocks that we first put a repeater there, a redstone dust behind it. You're going to place some blocks like that, delete the one on top, and what you're trying to create is this item elevator system, okay? So you want to create the same exact pattern. So place a comparator going forward, a redstone torch in front of that block, and you're going to place it in front of there and there as well, and one more right behind this block right here, parallel to the comparator, you see? So make sure you have this layout. Now we're going to get some droppers. Let's get some droppers right there. We're going to place 2 right on top of the torch going upwards. 1, 2. And in this case, we're going to place one of them going forward towards that dropper in front of us, you see? So they can shoot right in there and continue the flow all the way down to the back. Perfect. This is great because what it does is it allows us to filter out and sort out the things that need to be sorted out, like the key cards and all the important items to activate a chest. Now here you're going to place a large chest right there. You're going to place a block on the side and a regular chest right in front. Now the reason I did that is just to conserve on materials. You don't have to do it that way, but it really conserves, especially if you're using so much hoppers. Just another way to really cut corners as much as possible. Now over here you're going to place 1, 2, 3 half slabs. And then over here place 1, 2, 3. And one more on the side. And one more right in front of it. It's a power rail, a regular rail. 1, 2, 3 power rails, then a regular rail. You're then going to place a rail detector and 1 power rail in front of it. Place a half slab there and a lever on top of it and activate it so you can power those power rails. Over here you're going to place 2 half slabs and 1 on the side. And we're going to place 1 dropper going forward just like so. We're going upwards and 1 on top of that going the opposite direction. And the hopper on top of it just like so. Now that's going to be the locking mechanism for the rest of the entire system once you activate a chest. Place a half slab on the side with a comparator going forward, a block in front of it, a torch on top of it, and of course a block on top of that. Place a half slab right there, a repeater in front of it, and some redstone dust to activate it. See? And what that does is it prevents any of the pistons from moving. It's really a great security system, especially when you're dealing with an ATM. And considering you're going to have all your personal items, especially high valuable items, in this, I mean, you want nobody having any loopholes or any way of really tampering with your items. So to me, having that additional security is definitely a plus. So check it out, guys. This is also very important. Make sure in that bottom dropper you add 1 piece of dirt. Okay, otherwise the system won't work correctly. And underneath, make sure you also add 1 piece of dirt in each dropper as well. It has to be right there in the bottom part, right behind where the redstone is located. Because if that's not there, the system will not work correctly. Perfect. Now once we've done that, we're going to start working on the front entrance. We want to create that nice platform, and you should be at ground level. See? So at this point, just create the platform for the ATM, and we're going to create the wall frame for the rest of the system. So extend down to your parallel to that torch and place a block on top of the rails and kind of create this nice little wall that's about 3 blocks in height. See? Place a block there, and right over here you want to place a dropper going towards that one. See? And on top of this chest, make sure you add a stair so that it doesn't interfere with getting items or blocking anything that might come through there. Now you can really create the frame whatever you want. You can really design this any which way. I'm gonna show you exactly how I made mine. But like I said, guys, you can really create your own personal frame as long as you have a frame in mind. Now place one dropper going towards the item elevator so that when it shoots the item, it can go straight into the system and get sorted out. Perfect. Then you can place one button right there underneath that block to activate the dispenser. Well, the dropper in this case. Now this is very important, guys. I'm going to show you how to label your items. And you can use whatever items you want. I'm using paper as a credit card. Well, to symbolize a credit card. And the cool thing is, you might want to use one stack. Now you can name it anything you want. You can name it a key 1. You can name it with a bunch of numbers that you feel fits you perfectly. Or even a name, like Bob, or any other name. It's your choice. And the great thing about this, you can make your own personal ID to have the system so you can activate this chest. I mean, it's a great way to having a personal credit card. See? And once you've done that, just take your item out. So all you have to do is place it in the first slot, label it, and take it right out. See? Now, once you've done that, I'm going to show you how to actually have this sorted out. Now, what you want to do is have a bunch of dirt, because you will need it, and a few stacks of the labeling, the items that you have labeled out. Now, in the last 4 slots, place one piece of dirt and put the full stack in the first slot. Now, not to worry, it will all end up in the chest in front, and it should come down to 18. Now, the thing is, it will be 18 there, but the hopper underneath will have 1 as well. Now, guys, this is also very important. Over here where the comparator is underneath, make sure you place a repeater going towards the front entrance, okay? See? On each block. And make sure that each repeater is on 4 ticks. That's highly important. You see? Perfect. Now, to have that light indicator, just delete the 3 blocks on top and place some redstone lamps across. Then in the middle, place some redstone dust and extend that all the way right across, just like so. Place a half slab in front right there, parallel to the first piece of dust, and some redstone dust on top. You can delete that, as actually extra. And there you have it. Now, I'm going to show you how this works, all right? We're going to place the back chest with a bunch of diamonds, okay? That's going to be key card number 7. Now, like I said, guys, you can really label this anything you want. It's your choice. Just make sure you place your key or your ID card in that dropper and press that button. Once you press that button, the chest will appear. And if you check inside, we should have a bunch of diamonds. Look at that. Perfect. The system works perfectly fine. And our key card is right in that chest. And there you have it, guys. Just send it right back and you're good to go. Anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you could please leave a comment and subscribe. Thank you.